Welcome to Raising Tech Resident Exclusives. You can find a full video demonstration on our website, www.parasolalliance.com/residents.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Tech at Home Resident Exclusive podcast series. My name is James, and I'm a technician based in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Today, we're going to go over how to find recipes online and make navigating recipe websites easier so you can cook stress-free. What you'll learn today, my goal is by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to find recipes for almost any dish online, recognize safe and trustworthy recipe websites, avoid common online risks. We'll also go over how to print clean recipes so you can take them to your kitchen as paper, and know where to get help if something feels confusing or if you just need a bit of extra assistance. We'll apply what you've learned today in a live demonstration, and I'll also share some recipe websites that are a good starting point if you're not sure where to begin. The internet is one of the best places to find recipes. There are millions of recipes out there that are available for free. You're no longer bound to just using a cookbook that you buy from a store or that's passed down to you. Some of the best ways to search for recipes is by ingredient, for example, chicken and rice. You could search by diet, like low sodium or other allergens. You can also search for occasions, Christmas desserts or Halloween cookies. Recipes can be printed, saved, or viewed on your phone or tablet, which is also handy in case you want to bring those to the kitchen with you. What's great is that if you have an idea of a dish that you want to make, if it exists, someone has probably already posted a recipe for it on the internet. So there are some risks with finding recipes online, just as there are with being on the internet. When you're looking at recipes and websites, you'll want to be cautious of a couple things. If you see buttons that say download recipe, if you see pop-ups asking you to install software, ads that look like recipe buttons, and we'll look at an example of this, or if websites suddenly start opening new tabs or showing you things without your permission, these are all just some red flags. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that all recipe websites are bad, but once you learn how to recognize these red flags, navigating the internet will be so much easier and enjoyable. So how do you stay safe? Some simple habits can make the biggest difference when you're looking for recipes. For example, as you're looking through, click on recipe text and not ads. And we'll talk about how to recognize what is an ad versus what isn't on these pages. Avoid any download or install buttons. Remember, your recipes, you'll never have to download, install, or run any software in order to view them. You want to stick to well-known cooking websites. And if something feels confusing or urgent, know when to stop and ask for help. Tech at Home can help make recipe browsing safer and help you with a variety of things. So if you're not sure where to start, I recommend beginning with Google to find recipe websites and then explore the site further to determine if it's helpful to you or trustworthy. So my recommendation is on your computer, start with your web browser. Open Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge and go to Google or another search engine and just type in something that you want to find. For example, easy beef stew recipe. When you search, you're going to find a lot of results. The first couple on Google might be sponsored ads, so scroll past the first few. Also look for a tiny ad button next to them. This will suggest that they're paying to appear at the top of the search results and might not necessarily be the best result for the recipe that you're looking for. After you've Googled your recipe and you've found a website, you'll want to learn how to navigate it. Some websites are going to be easier to navigate than others, but I'll show you an example of what this looks like. On your web page, you can use categories to find different recipes. You can also use the search bar at the top of the website to search for things. You can save recipes directly to your browser bookmarks by clicking on the star in the top right corner if you're on Google Chrome. Let's look at an example. This is the website Epicurious, and I'd like to highlight a couple of things on the page here. So we're looking at this simple skillet chicken Alfredo recipe. On the top, the first thing that I notice is a button that says print recipe. How do I know that this is an ad? Well, you can see here towards the top right corner up above the open button, you'll see a little blue X and a little blue triangle. That suggests that it's a Google ad, and you want to be aware that this is just an ad space. Anything can appear here, and what appears in this space will probably change as you visit different pages. Moving on from the ad, when you're navigating websites, always look towards the top and you can find categories. On Epicurious, you can search by ingredients by clicking the ingredients. And for the sake of the example, let's choose proteins and we can sort by chicken. When you click chicken, Epicurious, a particular website, will give you a lot of ideas for chicken recipes or dinner. This is just one way that you can navigate and find recipes, but we'll go over some others. My recommendation is using allrecipes.com. I'm going to show you a live demonstration, and on All Recipes, we'll learn how to search within the website, how to scroll past ads safely, how to find where the actual recipe starts, and we'll show you an example of how the ingredients and steps are organized. So let's take a look. So first, you want to open up Google, and I come up to the top bar and type allrecipes.com. So right away, you're going to notice a lot of advertisements. What I like to do is scroll down past these, and you'll begin to start seeing recipes. So if you know what kind of recipe you're looking for, you can use the search bar up on the top. So personally, I'm a fan of peanut butter bars. So let's search for peanut butter bars. And using this, you're going to find all sorts of peanut butter bar recipes. So you can scroll through these search results and you'll see that each one of these has different ratings, different numbers of ratings, or other things that make them unique. My suggestion for all recipes is sticking towards ones with the most amount of ratings, as they're usually vetted more and people will leave comments and suggestions if they find that there's things wrong with the recipes or if they did something differently that worked well. So let's select this first recipe. The first thing you'll see on this page is our title, how many reviews, photos, etc. And we'll see lots of videos and advertisements automatically playing. Before we scroll down to the recipe, if you find a print button, it will look something like this. I suggest we click that right away. And this will remove a lot of the extra fluff and things that clog up the recipe. When you click the print button, this doesn't actually begin printing, but it will format your recipe in a way that allows you to print it. So from here, if we go and hit print, this will load a preview of what would actually come out, and you can see that this is a fairly standard looking recipe and everything is neatly. When you click your print button, you'll see that everything is formatted correctly and there aren't a bunch of additional pages or advertisements or on-screen elements. If you don't click the print button and we go back to the original recipe, if you just try to print this page, what you'll notice is instead of printing just 2 pieces of paper, this is actually going to print out 11. And you're going to find that as you scroll through here, there are local offers, advertisements, things don't appear correctly, and nobody wants an 11-page recipe. So scrolling down through here, if you decide to view it through the website and not print, they might include extra things like pictures of how certain steps are supposed to look. And this can be more or less helpful depending on your recipe. I prefer to just print straight from text, and I don't like pictures in mine as much. And what's nice about all recipes is as you continue to scroll down to the bottom, you can see that people ask questions and they can also get answers. So in the context of this recipe, can you use chunky peanut butter for a little more texture? And if you wanted some answers to this, you can click View Answers, and people will list out, hey, I tried this, this didn't work. Hey, I did this and it was good. This is one reason why I like this website, is because it's very user focused and people interact a lot on here. Now, once you're done with this particular recipe, or if you want to move on, I always suggest going back up to the search bar up here if you know what you're looking for, or if you just like to browse, you can click on some of these categories up here, searching by dinners or by meals. You can search for different occasions, healthy, appetizers and snacks, etc. So give this website a try, and I'm going to move back to our presentation. So as you could see in the demonstration, printing recipes can be tricky. Most sites will give you an option to print, but you have to use their print button in order to get rid of the ads and have it formatted cleanly. Some sites will print everything on one page, and if you do that without clicking the button, it will include all those extra on-screen elements. Not all websites will print recipes in the same way, and this is largely just how they designed the website. Not all websites print recipes the same way, and this depends on how the website is designed, and unfortunately isn't something that we can control. But let me show you another example of a formatted recipe versus an unformatted. Here on the left is another all recipes page, and on the right here is that same page, but you can see that it's formatted for printing. Just things to keep in mind if you want to save your paper and get something that's usable and that you can add to your cookbook. How to print clean recipes. Of course, we've talked about this, but you're going to look for a print recipe button, and this will appear near the text, not towards the outsides where you find those advertisements. It also may show up as a printer icon. If printing looks messy, or if you see a lot of print buttons and you're not sure which one is real versus which one is an advertisement, I suggest you ask Tech at Home for help with formatting or with printing your recipes. Many recipe pages include personal stories or blogs, shopping lists, recommendations, videos, and others. If you can, when you open your recipe, just start scrolling down until you get to your ingredients list and use your best judgment on if you think that the recipe is going to be usable or if you think that there's too much on-screen content. My suggestions, if you're going to start looking for online recipes, are to use All Recipes. And you can see that's allrecipes.com. This features a lot of user-submitted recipes and ratings and reviews from home cooks, along with the other things we talked about in the demonstration. Another website that I like to use is America's Test Kitchen, which is americastestkitchen.com. You'll see a lot of as seen on TV style recipes and a lot of things from the Food Network channels if you're familiar with those. And a lot of these can focus on why recipes work, but usually they're vetted by professional chefs and have a lot of commentary. Each website has a different style, but I suggest you try a couple of them and see which one you like best. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Tech at Home can help you print or format your recipes, save your recipes digitally, scan or digitize your older paper recipes, and install ad blockers on your computer or phone to help you browse safer. One-on-one help is available if you need it. Some final takeaways: you can find recipes for just about anything online, not just dishes from America, but even international dishes. Always stick to trusted websites where these are ones that you've used before, or if they're ones that we recommend. Avoid any download buttons or advertisements in the margins of the website. Remember that printing will work best on recipe-focused websites, and always to look for that print button. And just know that Tech at Home is available to help if things feel frustrating or if you're confused about what a website is doing or if you get stuck. Remember, cooking should be enjoyable, not stressful. If you have other questions, reach out to your Tech at Home technician today. Thank you for joining me on this Finding Online Recipes class, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
You can find us online at raisingtechpodcast.com, where you can see all of our episodes and contact us to provide feedback or submit an episode idea. We are on social media everywhere at Raising Tech Podcast. If you enjoy Raising Tech, please leave us a review and share with a friend. Music is an original production by Tim Riesig, one of our very own Parasol Alliance employees. As always, thank you for listening.